China is slowing down. There is no nice way to put it. इसका कोई ऑल्टरनेटिव नहीं है. हमारा नेबर चाइना, जिसको दुनिया का इकोनॉमिक इंजन कहा जाता है, has been slowing down for the last few years. China's economic growth was expected to take over USA by 2030. But the last few years have slowed down the world's largest factory, the world's supply chain hub, and the world's largest offshore account. The Economist see the world's second largest economy slowing down to 3.5% in 2030 and to 1% in 2050. China's economy grew by 3% last year. That was 2022. This is the growth rate of the country, which grew in double digits from 2003 to 2007. Nomura Holdings lowered this year's growth forecast of China to 4.6%. एक समय था जब दुनिया में ऑलमोस्ट सब कुछ चाइना में मैन्युफैक्चर होता था. Every large corporate used to offshore their production, assemble their products, and sometimes even design in China. Cheap labor was the prominent reason. So why is China slowing down? ऐसा क्या हुआ है मेड इन चाइना टैग को? हम बताएंगे. Hello, my name is Abhinav Trivedi and you are watching Detangle with Mint. सबसे पहला कारण डेट क्राइसिस. 2008 और 9 में भी चाइनीज इकोनॉमी बहुत ऊपर बढ़ रही थी, लेकिन फिर भी हालात ऐसे थे कि चाइना की इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ पे डाउट किया जाता था. But then Chinese government covered it with heavy investments in the real estate and infrastructure sector. Most of these investments were debt fueled. The infrastructure updates have created too much debt and the property bubble has burst, posing risks to financial stability today. Even in 2022, China's debt was 3 times the country's GDP. 3 guna. The high level of debt is not only compelling government to restrict overspending and announce big-ticket stimulus packages, but also compelling people to spend less. ये एक double-edged sword है, जिससे दोनों तरफ के लोग, चाहे वो सरकारी हो, चाहे वो प्राइवेट इन्वेस्टमेंट हो, स्लो हो चुका है हाई डेट के चलते. नंबर 2, प्रॉपर्टी क्राइसिस. सबसे बड़ी वजह. As more and more Chinese shifted to cities, China's real estate and property sector became the backbone of not only demand but also supply. China का real estate sector आज भी लगभग 70% of household wealth अपने अंदर समेटे हुए है. The sector accounts for 25% of economic activities in the country and contributes almost 40% of the government's income. लगभग 50 लाख लोग इस सेक्टर में काम करते हैं. So what happened with this sector? अब हुआ ऐसा बंधु कि China always had global ambitions, right? अब उन्होंने growth at all cost मॉडल को काफी बूस्ट किया, which also meant debt. Chinese regulators allowed developers to surge growth at all costs through debt for decades. Then suddenly in 2020, the Chinese Premier Xi Jinping's government led a crackdown on big businesses and especially those sectors which depended heavily on debts and external borrowings. Well, the Chinese government suddenly stopped Chinese real estate developers to access cheap money and hence leaving many short on cash. As a result, the sector which was used to certain mode of operation and mode of cash for decades was suddenly left cash strapped. More than 50 developers have defaulted on their payments in the last 3 years. Country Garden, a real estate giant that was once put forward as a model by the government, is almost on the verge of bankruptcy. ये हुआ है चाइना की Evergrande default के बाद, जो कि एक बहुत बड़ी real estate firm थी. Now when this sector slows down, everything slows down. China की manufacturing, China की banking, China का construction and eventually the growth of the economy. परेशानी तब शुरू हुई जब households, आम आदमी ने घर खरीदने और EMI देने पे मना कर दिया. July 2023, new apartment sales at top 100 developers slid by 33% in China. अब चाइना बाउंस बैक करेगा या नहीं, ये बहुत कुछ इस बात पर निर्भर करेगा कि वहां की सरकार अपने आम आदमी को कन्विंस कर पाए कि भैया खर्चा करिए, प्रॉपर्टी खरीदिए, घर खरीदिए. Third and final nail in the coffin, low domestic and global demand. The made in China tag, याद है आपको? It has off lately become a touch me not. The once most sought after tag is facing problems. As trust issues with countries, trade war with USA has slowed down Chinese exports. कोविड के बाद चाइना के ऊपर लोग अपना डिपेंडेंसी कम करना चाहते हैं और इसका सीधा सीधा प्रभाव चाइना के इंपोर्ट और एक्सपोर्ट पर भी पड़ रहा है. Recent customs data showed exports of August slumped 8.8% to almost 285 billion in the fourth straight month. As far as local demand is concerned, कोविड के पहले भी चाइनीज पब्लिक दुनिया में सबसे कम खर्चा करती थी अपनी जीडीपी के मुकाबले। बट पोस्ट कोविड सरकार ने एक्सपेक्ट किया था कि कुछ रिवेंज स्पेंडिंग बढ़ेगी, बट ऐसा कुछ हुआ नहीं। प्रॉपर्टी मार्केट गिरने के बाद बैंक्स का कॉन्फिडेंस भी लूज हो चुका है, क्योंकि बहुत सारे बैंक्स इस वक्त कर्जे में फंसे हुए हैं, जो ऑफ कोर्स प्रॉपर्टी डेवलपर्स ने लिए थे। इन एडिशन टू दिस, the Chinese public is losing confidence seeing big developers falling and filing for bankruptcies. Economists are expecting that weak domestic demand and lack of consumer confidence is a major hurdle for Chinese growth. सरकार ने हाल फिलहाल में वहां इंटरेस्ट रेट में कटौती करी है, but there are a few takers. Recent August imports slid 7.3% to $216 billion. अब इसमें इंडिया का क्या बेनिफिट है? Will China's loss be India's gain? Well, firstly, चाइना के प्रॉपर्टी मार्केट गिरने से हमारे यहाँ सीमेंट और इंडस्ट्रियल रॉ मटेरियल के प्राइसेस कम हो सकते हैं। The world will look towards India for offshoring operations because after China, India is the only biggest market which can substitute it in terms of resources and in terms of population. Strong local demand, robust economy, democratically political stable government could be one of the few reasons why India can replace the Chinese model. Can China pull its growth back, or will India fill the void? Time will tell, but we at Detangle shall keep you posted.
Should I stock up on some global brands?
Diversify investments with global stocks. Invest.
Diversification is interesting. Should I invest in global markets?
You only progress when you ask better questions. Mint. Think ahead, think growth.